need to measure from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail. So I have to go right alongside. You can count with me. How many cubes long is Mr. Red? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm getting pretty close, aren't I? 12. It's pretty close to 12, I would say, between 11 and 12. Do you think I measured him correctly? Did I start at the tip of his nose and go to the tip of his tail or his back of his leg? Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would say Mr. Red is 12 cubes long. Okay, Mr. Red, we could also use a different unit of measurement, like maybe a paper clip. I have all big paper clips today, boys and girls. If they're all the same, I can use them. I can't mix my small and large paper clips. But if I have all large ones, that will work. Oh, looks like that's going to make them a little too long. Looks like it ends about right there. So I would say Mr. Red is about 1, 2, 3, 4.5, almost 5 paper clips, big paper clips long. If I took this one out, that wouldn't be a good unit of measure because I have a gap. If I tried to squeeze on a lot more like this, that's not a good way to measure either. That's an overlap. So I think that Mr. Red is about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 paper clips long. Okay, thank you, Mr. Red. We'll use you another time. Now, boys and girls, I want to talk about plans of 10. You could line up 10 pennies in a row. Are you counting with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go, 10 pennies. And we can, I have to move them ahead a little bit. These, we're not measuring with these, so it's okay if we have a little bit of space in between these. But we just know that there are 10 there. All you would need to do is take just a piece of paper and you could play a game. If I cover all 10 pennies, do you know how many are under my paper? Yes, 10, because I covered them all up, right? Well, what if I let one stick out? How many are under the paper? 9. And I could go back, I could count backwards all the way. 9 is under the paper. Now 2 are showing. There are 8 under the paper because 2 plus 8 equals 10. 7 are showing, or excuse me, 3 are showing. There are 7 under the paper. Now 4 are showing. 6 are under the paper. 5 are showing. Oh, that's half. It's a double. 5 plus 5 make 10. 6 are showing. That means 4 are under the paper. 7 are showing. We have 3 under the paper. 8 are showing. That means 2 we're hiding. 9 are showing. We've got 1 left. And then if all 10 are showing, you know you have 0 under the paper. That's just a quick way to check yourself on knowing your combinations of 10. Okay, another thing I want to review with you. Remember we looked at our number chart and we were trying to think of numbers that are 10 more or 10 less. Let's look at number 1. What number is 10 more than 23? Now you can write this down on your paper. You could write 23. And then we can look at our chart. Where is 23? This is only part of a chart, isn't it? Only goes to 50. Here's 23. What is 10 more? When you see the word more, are we going to have a lower number or a higher number? We're going to get more, higher. So 23, 33 is 10 more. You could write that down on your paper. What number is 10 less than 23? Well, we were just looking at 23. Now we have to get smaller or fewer, less. We can jump up a whole row. It's 13, isn't it? Now, boys and girls, we can always count. We could count back 23. We could count back 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But look where 13 is. It's right above 23. That is our shortcut to jump up a whole row because it's 10 less. Or to jump down a whole row because it's 10 more. What number is 10 more than 38? Let's find 38. 10 more is going to be bigger, higher. So we can jump down 38 down to 48. 48 is 10 more. What about 10 less than 38? I'm going to find 38 again. And I know the trick. I can just jump up a row. And it's 28. 28 is 10 less than 38. So just remember, boys and girls, we have rows of 10. Look, here's another 10, 20. Keep going, 30, 40, 50. We can use those rows to help us when we do 10 more or 10 less. All right, one last thing we want to look at, boys and girls. A tally chart and a tally graph. They took a survey of what kind of fruit are people's favorite, and they used tallies to keep track. Let's look at the apples. We've got 5 in this set, 5 in this set, and we know all together this is 10. And then keep going, 11, 12. The total number of tallies was 12. For bananas, only 1, 2, 3 tallies for favorite fruit being a banana. Grapes. What does this tell you? That's a group of 5. We'll write 5 for our tally of grapes. Now we've collected that information, the data, to tell us what people like for favorite fruit. Which fruit did most people like? Which one had the most tallies? Well, apples just beat them both, didn't it? So we have to write the name of the fruit here. Apples were the fruit that people liked the most. Which fruit was the least? Now look at the difference, boys and girls. Most is a big number, and least is your smallest number. Which one had the smallest amount of votes? 3, the bananas. So we have to write the name bananas here, B-A-N-A-N-A. Kind of like a little pattern. How many people in all, chose bananas and apples? They didn't say in all of the fruit, they said in bananas and apples. We have to add together bananas and apples. So really, it's 3 bananas plus 12 apples. You can put 12 in your head and count up 3. I'm thinking 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 people liked those 2 fruits. And one last question. How many more people chose grapes than bananas? Grapes than bananas. Well, there were 5 people that liked grapes, and only 3 people chose bananas. I need to find the difference. 5 minus 3. I can count back. 5, 4, 3, 2. 2 is the difference between 3 and 5. 2 is my answer. Now I'm going to use this information to make a graph. Here's my graph. Favorite fruit graph. Here's a column for apples. Here's a column for bananas and a column for grapes. How many apples did we say people, how many people liked apples rather? 12, right? So I think I'll use my red marker for red apples. And I'm going to color in the 12 squares for the 12 tallies that I had. I could even come up here and make a line where the 12 is. And oh, this marker's not going to work really well for me. I think I'll get a different one. If I color in 12 boxes all the way up to the 12, that will be looking like a bar or a tall colored in rectangle, really. I can compare that to bananas now. Yellow might be hard to see, but let's see if we can use that for bananas. Only 3 of those, remember? 3 tally marks. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not as many compared to the apples, and I can see it right next to the apples easily. Do you see how my line went as far as the 3 over here? And the last one, grapes. Let's see, I think I might use blue for grapes. We will color in 5 boxes for the 5 grapes. I could look at the grapes column and I can follow my finger along to where it says 5. So I will only go up this tall to the 5 and color in all of those boxes to build my bar graph. Now, boys and girls, when I look, I can compare these so much easier when I have them in a graph, and I can see which fruit was the favorite, the tallest bar and the tallest column. I can see which one was next. The grapes were the next well-liked. The bananas were the least well-liked for favorite fruit. And that is how I went from a tally graph or chart to a bar graph. And that's 2 different ways that you can keep track of data and information after you collect it. I hope you had a good review, boys and girls, and I hope that you have learned a lot about math so far this year. See you later.